Hi, it's Liberty for All. I'm here again going to sunny Florida, reporting on DeSantis. I absolutely love what this man stands for, his ability to speak very eloquently and fiercely and not afraid to stand up for not only his beliefs, but the rights of Floridians and all Americans across the country. And I just want to highlight and thank him for what he's doing. I think it's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to play the clip and then I will be back to give my commentary.
It's great to be out here. I want to thank Art Laffer for inviting me. It's great to be with Alec. Did you not get the CDC's memo? I don't see you guys complying. And I say that jokingly, but I think that may be a sign of potentially seeking to do more things into the future. And I think it's very important that we say unequivocally no to lockdowns, no to school closures, no to restrictions, and no mandates. Floridians are free to choose, and all Americans should be free to choose how they govern their affairs, how they take care of themselves and our families, and they should not be consigned to live, regardless of which state in the union, consigned to live in a Faucian dystopia in which we're governed by the whims of bureaucratic authorities who care little for our freedom, little for our aspirations, and little for our happiness. No more. We can't let it happen going forward. And I think it's important to learn some of the lessons of what we saw over the past year and a half. There's a number of things I think we can look back on and point to different things that were just total catastrophes. I think a lot of these interventions, almost all of them, were totally ineffective. But they had catastrophic consequences for tens of millions of Americans. And to me, probably the most significant policy failure were the states that kept schools closed last school year. You had a situation where when the virus first hit, traditionally, when you talk about disease mitigation, people would look at schools as a place where it would really foster a lot of spread throughout the communities, and that's certainly true with influenza. So there was a lot of precautionary things done initially, distance learning, all this. But as the data started coming in, it was very clear by May of 2020 that not only were our school kids at virtually no risk from coronavirus, they were not efficient spreaders of it. And so schools, places that had schools open, did not see major outbreaks. And so my view was we have got to have every parent in Florida, they have a right to send their kids to school in person, and we've got to make that happen. And so we had to do this last summer, and that was at the height of, the Sun Belt has a summer COVID season, as we're seeing now. This was something that we were dealing with in Florida, and the hysteria was off the charts. You had people saying all this stuff. You can't send the kids to school. The teachers union actually sued me to keep the schools closed. And what they would do is they would actually bring coffins and put them in front of our Florida Department of Education building. So it was really, the data was very clear that this is something that should have happened. And obviously from a policy perspective, kids need to be in school. Parents need to have an ability, particularly our single mothers. So it was evidence and facts and what was good policy and good for Floridians on one side versus basically hysteria, corporate media narrative, and a bunch of fear-mongering.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Governor DeSantis, for what you are doing because there are large groups of people that, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's ignorance, I don't know if it's bias, I don't know if it's just authority of just wanting to do what they want to do and just taking your rights away, but they don't understand the need for kids to be in school and for education. Okay. I cannot tell you how many times in comments on social media I got attacked by people for giving my opinion that at the time I thought that school should have been opened, like DeSantis was saying. It wasn't, but I was giving my opinion that I thought that school should be open. Let them wear the mask. Fine. And if they were so afraid, a lot of these teachers especially, to go into the building, that perhaps you should stay home. There are tons of remote opportunities for teachers to teach from home at the time. That's all that people like me and others were saying. I got called a TW, you know the rest, all because of difference of opinion. Also, there was the classic, oh, we're not a babysitter, we're teachers. We can teach them from home. Just let them be at home, log on, and we'll do the rest. And what did we find a year later? That the entire country almost is behind in some capacity. There has been COVID learning loss where there's anywhere from 3 to 9 months of loss of learning because of the distance learning and the closures. So I appreciate governors like DeSantis that have left schools open and know the importance of in person learning. And also realize and respect the fact that there are single mothers that have to work. Okay. Their kiddos have to go to school. What's wrong with that? There were several people in the comments on social media attacking other people because they said, hey, I need to work. I need my kid to go to school. Oh, we're not a babysitter. And beyond that, let's say that they weren't a single mom and they were able to keep them at home. There's one thing being a parent and another an educator. It's completely different. Not everyone can teach, especially depending on the level of the grade of the student. Maybe the parent can't do it. The parent shouldn't have to do it. That's not their job. It's your job. Okay? It's your job as a teacher to do that. And I resent a lot of the teachers that were going in on parents and telling them, hey, we're not a babysitter. When there were tons of teachers who I respect that were saying the opposite. These kids need to be here. I'm willing to go in here. I want to work with these kids. They knew that the distance learning wasn't doing anything for them because a lot of the times all that was going on was the students were being told to watch a video, do tons of worksheets, and basically teach themselves. Not to mention the emotional effects of them not being able to see their friends. A lot of these were single, kids that are only children. What about that? They need the social aspect of it. And I'm happy to know that DeSantis stood up for that and knew what was going on and was not afraid to speak out about it because the answer was just, oh, stay home. We can teach them from home. We're not a babysitter. Get over it. You need to, take care of your own kids. You're just trying to push them on us. We're afraid of dying and everything else. And then when people were clapping back and saying, perhaps you need to stay home or find a remote teaching job opportunity, which they are out there, I get called a TW, you know the rest, for voicing my opinion. And that's why I made this channel. That's why. And I am going to highlight DeSantis and anyone else like that that has been standing up for our rights because I really, really, really appreciate what he is doing.